Hi, this is Neil Chang here, and in case you missed my session, this is a quick bottom line of what is happening. So, for today, we covered what is the property that allows Airbnb or short term leasing at Ayala Land. A quick overview, Ayala Land is very strong. We build ecosystems, not just one projects here and there. We've been around since the 1800s and we have all these services for you to support the community. As you know, we have a long history with all the known places in the Philippines, starting with Makati, Central Business District, Ayala Alabang, Cebu Park, and currently, of course, we have New Valley, right? You can see we have multiple locations being built for future cities to support the growth of the Philippines. And we also have a department that handles property management to help you with your maintenance, paying taxes, and of course, leasing services such as looking for tenants and managing them in or out. So qualified buyers, who can buy? Obviously, you have to be a Filipino as an individual, or you can buy as a company as long as it is 60% owned. You can also purchase as a trust. These will require a lot more paperwork, but it is possible to do so. Who can buy? If you're a foreigner, you can still buy condos or offices as long as it does not exceed the 40% threshold. And then if you are a former Filipino, you have a certain set limit. However, that's still a lot of space. For urban, it's 5,000 square meters, and for rural, it's 30,000 square meters or 3 hectares. For OFWs, dual citizens, and current Filipinos, you can purchase unlimited. Now, our topic today covers what can be leased short-term lease across 4 projects. So we have from the north to south, Katipunan, Centria, Stories at Vermosa, Solara Park Stories, and Serin Terraces Tagaytay. The one in Katipunan is called The Heights Katipunan, and the product launch is actually this month. So you are still before pre-selling if you decide to purchase here. Okay, so first, the Heights Katipunan. This will be across Miriam, right, near UP and Ateneo, right? The current Airbnb rate is around 2,000. So conservatively speaking, let's put that in. As you can see here, right, Katipunan. I placed. This is the price. Okay. A quick disclaimer: these prices are not final. These are before taxes and fees and discounts. So what you see may not be what you actually get. Okay, so these are just to illustrate high level view of what it looks like. So for the Heights Katipunan, let's say it's 2,000 per day, as you can see here. So it's roughly that the price. As you can see, there's a lot of over 2,000, even 2,500. Okay, next, Centria Stories of Vermosa. This is a mid-rise project in Vermosa Estate where you have a lot of sports-related facilities at the Olympic level. Okay, a lot of um, deals are being made between Ayala and other parties to create that environment. The condo here will be at the campus town district, as you can see in this map. So the value appreciation, 178% over 8 years since Vermosa started. So you can be sure that your purchase here will appreciate. This is 2 towers. So we're selling the first tower, which means you will appreciate more as the second tower is completed. So here we can see it's around 1.7, 2,000. So let's put an average for Centria Stories at 1,600, right, per day. Next in our example would be Avida Solara Park Stories. This is in New Valley, which is the size of Makati and approximately 3 districts so far. So we have the East Block, the Central Block, and the South Block. We also have Metro New Valley announced here. So the project I'm talking about is near Xavier, and it is part of the Central Block. So you will be in the middle of New Valley. So this is also a mid-rise project. There's 3 towers, and the first building is on sale right now. We no longer have 1 bedroom units, but we still have studio units at the time of this recording. As you can see, you will have that appreciation. And how much would it be for a studio? For one bedroom, you will be paying about 2,000. Some of them are a little less, 1.5. So again, let's be conservative in our example and charge 1.6 per day. Let's say that's your earning. Okay? And finally, we have the house and lot, Avida Serene Terraces. Serene Terraces basically is part of the Serene ecosystem. We have Serene condos and the mall here in Tagaytay. As you can see, this is the property, and the mall and the condos are closer to this location, and it's just 4 minutes from the rotunda. Here, a house and lot rents for over 10,000 per night. Some of them are 8,000. So we'll be conservative and put 8,000. Okay. So 8,000 per night. So this is our control. We did not pick a, special weekend like Valentine's weekend like today. However, we picked next weekend where there's no special holiday. However, you should know that the prices here are consistent, right? So this is actual Airbnb rates. Okay, so 2026. All right, so let's go to our model here. So I added the Vida Towers Makati South Point just for comparison. For a studio, you will spend about 8.7 million and you will earn about 15,000 per month in the bare unit. So this is unfurnished. If you furnish it, you can probably earn about 20,000 per month, but it really depends what kind of appliances and furniture you place. Okay, so these we are estimating. So since we have we're assuming that your Airbnb or short-term lease is going to be furnished, we will change this to the furnished rate. So 820,000. Okay, so how many years would it take, right? So your earnings. So this is assuming you do not earn every day. We did it at 10 months per year to account for the HOA and the fees, the property taxes that you pay, which is, I would say, 2 months worth of your income, right? So let's remove 2 months, and this is your annual earning. So for Airbnb house and lot in Tagaytay, you will earn about 2.4 million, assuming you rent every day. And then for the high-rise condo, in Makati, around 200,000 per year. Heights Katipunan, this is close to the schools, 600,000. And then you have the um, estates, which is Solara Park Stores Nuvali. Nuvali is the largest estate of Ayala, and Vermosa is the third largest estate of Ayala, right? And you earn respectively 480,000 each. How many years of ROI just from rental income alone, not including the appreciation of your property if you sell the property. So obviously you will get your money back, right? But this is just pure rental income from short-term leasing or straight. So for our Makati South Point, this is just straight, annual monthly lease, right? 20,000 a month. You'll take 44 years. A condo will probably live about 75 years. So you a little under half, right? So in terms of when you get your return on investment, it is much shorter for the house and lot because you can charge 8,000 a day, and that's on the low end. Remember, we saw prices that was 10,000 a day, right? And it's not February, it's not peak season for Tagaytay. Peak season would obviously mean higher prices for the summer, and you have a lot of weddings that happen in Tagaytay year round. So definitely a great bargain here. Now, what you get is 110 square meter lot with 80 square meter floor area of the two-story house, right? So 80 square meters is definitely larger than what you see here for the studio and one bedroom, right? Typically the mid-rise projects have larger studios compared to the Avida Tower studios, but it's currently cheaper as well. So more bang for the buck. So where would you target your market? So I would target, of course, Tagaytay, the weekend staycationers, all of that, and like I said, the wedding. folks. And then Avida Towers, Makati South Point, that would be targeting the workers, right? The ones who work in Makati. There's plenty of people who work there and definitely a consistent source of income. For student market, I would choose the Heights Katipunan. If you like to cater to students who are in Ateneo, LaSalle, or sorry, Ateneo and Miriam, as well as UP, this is where you would want. If you want LaSalle, speaking of LaSalle, we also have a Centralis project, not shown here because it's not allowed for Airbnb, but we do have pre-selling units there. It's called the Centralis, which is also a great place. So next, we have the Solara Park Stories in Nuvali. So Nuvali is sprawling. There's 12 plus schools. So you will have students from around the country who will want to study, right, in the future. So it'll be good to have some place here just so you can have either the staycationers or the students themselves. And then finally, Centria Stories. So Vermosa is a huge, sports complex. We have Olympic level facilities here. You will have athletes, coaches who will be your target market for renters. Okay, so all of these have their unique characteristics, but in terms of the demonstration that having a short-term lease capable, place to have smack dab in the middle of Ayala properties, this is where you would want to invest your money. Okay, so obviously, it's still up to you depending on your network where you want to go. And these are again disclaimer. This assumes that you sacrifice 2 months of income for taxes and fees and upkeep, and then this assumes that you are able to book your location every day of the year. Okay, so obviously that's not the ideal case. So this might be longer, right? But it won't be that much longer. So in terms of the scale of the timeline, you can compare, right? 44 versus the 2514. So almost half or even more in terms of the speed of your ROI, right? So they both have their pros and cons, but as I said, it is best to get these while you can. Because, for example, the Heights Katipunan at 44 square meters, these are the upper floors, one bedroom units. We only have two, at the time of this recording, we only have two remaining units left, okay, for that size. The other one bedrooms are smaller, and we still have some studios remaining, but they are selling pretty fast. I wouldn't, maybe by next year it's all gone, right? So don't wait. Investing always rewards those who are first and who are early. Now, for the others, right? The house and lot, the studios, these are definitely, you know, sizable. For the stories, it's larger than your typical Avida Tower units, as you can see, right? The studios typically is 23, but for stories, 26 square meters. So it's definitely larger, and it has a balcony. But yes, so I hope you enjoyed today's summary, and I highly encourage you to purchase from me so that I can help you to the best of my ability. And as an added bonus, if you purchase Serin Terraces, Tagaytay, or the Heights Katipunan before the 18th of February 2026, you will get a free Apple Watch. And if you buy the others, Centralis, Bahari South Point, Solar Park Stories, and Centria Stories, you will get a microwave. So that's coming from us, and I hope that you'd avail because these discounts don't last forever. And the other thing to note is if you pay in cash, your discount can be higher than 10% potentially, right? So imagine knocking out 10% from this price. It's definitely a steal. And if you purchase and have a payment plan, instead of 10%, it'll be lower, around half of that, or 3 to 5%, depending on the project. But rest assured, every month there's a certain promo or discount that may apply to you. But it's best to buy early, and that's how investing works well. All right. This is Neil Cheng, your property specialist, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye, everyone.